there. Good morning, bud. Welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. What an exciting Sunday, Week 12 around the NFL we had, especially here if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Guys, we continue to set franchise records here, and although the Colts game was less than stellar, we are now that team where you have to be absolutely perfect in every single aspect of the game if you want a chance to beat us. Let's be honest. It was a very pedestrian outing for the Detroit Lions. The last few weeks we have had, we've seen second half comebacks. We've seen absolute throttling of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've kind of taken care of the AFC South. And now with our big win over the Indianapolis Colts, we have brought out our brooms and swept the South. We beat the Texans, we beat the Titans, we beat the Jags, and then we beat the Colts with their big, scary Superman, a non-civilian, some might call, in Anthony Richardson. Boy, if you guys are watching that game, Richardson, boy, his conditioning really got put to the test of the Detroit Lions. He was looking gassed after their first drive of all scripted plays. Anthony Richardson had his hands full with a limited Detroit Lions defense, okay? We came into the game, obviously, missing Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, missing Alex Anzalone last week with a broken forearm. We also then found out that Terrion Arnold and Enos Rakestraw Jr. were not going to be viable for the game to play with both nursing injuries. So that meant NFC Championship game big play guy Kindle Vildor got the start at the outside corner opposite Carlton Davis, leaving Amik Robertson to play the slot, and both of our safeties to roam back to drop hammers and try and grab INTs with Kirby Joseph came up close a couple of times. And the Colts sure to take advantage of Kindle Vildor's inability to turn his hips and run with a man, as well as allowing Anthony Richardson. Look, if you're going to let your corners just let wide receivers run past them, and Richardson does, like I said, have a big arm. He can make very big down the field throws. Not necessarily the most accurate. You've seen a couple of missed opportunities. I talk about it all the time, but a half second too late or too early, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. And the Colts just kept coming up a couple inches short. That could be due to lack of experience from Richardson. He played like 15 games in college, and he missed a large portion of his freshman year, his rookie campaign, due to injury. He is a guy who I had big hopes for, that I kind of thought Detroit might try and play some games and draft him when he was coming out, maybe, to sit and learn from JG16. I think Anthony Richardson is that guy. Pardon me, I mean to burp. Protein shakes, guys. Anthony Richardson is that guy who needs a lot of toolage before he can be a finished product. Luckily for the Detroit Lions, the Indianapolis Colts are forcing him to be the guy. If we're being honest, I would have been more nervous of a Joe Flacco-led Indianapolis Colts than I would have been an Anthony Richardson-led Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, you've seen a couple of times the only weapon he really was able to utilize against us was his legs, and that has been the Achilles heel of the Detroit Lions defense every single year since the transition from the past era to the modern day. And there's really nothing you can do about it. We have so many other positions that we're playing such astute defense on, such an insane lockdown defense on, guys, that it is just the one thing that's always going to become available for the offense to take advantage of, which normally we have a guy like Aiden Hutchinson typically going to put too much pressure on a quarterback to allow that run lane to fully develop the way that we've seen happen with Richardson outside of a couple of designed, just Jalen Hurts-style runs. And that pocket would collapse in around your big space eaters, Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader. Speaking of Aleem McNeil, boy, is he not having just a monster of a year? Just a monster of a year, really able to flourish, and just think of how good he could have been with Hutch still there to complement each other, right? Zadarius Smith coming in big, Jack Campbell taking big steps, Brian Branch doing what Brian Branch does. Now, there was a couple of times where, I'm going to be honest, I think the Colts are kind of dirty, man. I think the Colts are a little dirty. If I can try and find it, I'll try and find some images for it in the editing. But there was one play where Anthony Richardson had Alec Pierce coming over the middle, and Brian Branch was just a cunt hair too short to grab the INT. Well, Pierce then literally, if you watch the replay, he grabs Brian Branch's head and then slams him down onto the ground, right? considering how easily the flags come out whenever Brian Branch even attempts a moniker of aggression towards another player, like when, when he hit 6'3" Michael Pittman in the shoulder with the side of his helmet and got flagged for it. I'm so sick of Brian Branch getting flagged for such petty shit, right? But the long and short is, guys, we came away with a big W. The Lions now have 10 wins in consecutive seasons, first time in franchise history. Sonic and Knuckles became the first running back duo in NFL history to put together back-to-back, each of them having 10 touchdown campaigns. Jared Goff continued to look above average. Okay, it wasn't the Houston game, it wasn't the Jacksonville game, but it was better than most. And Goff didn't have to win the game for us. We were gashing them on the ground. Our offensive line was playing well. I'm going to be honest. I think our offensive line took a step back this year. Or teams have figured out how to get around our offensive linemen because Goff has been under pressure more this year than I care to see him. I've seen him taking more sacks than I like to see. Obviously, Taylor Decker has been in and out of the lineup, missed a couple of weeks. This game, you see him kind of got rolled up on. He missed a few plays, was able to come back. I think what you need now is, where does Giovanni Manu's development stand, and when might he be available to come in? Because Dan Skipper is not the long-term solution, even as a rotationary player at the left tackle spot. We do need to kind of beef up our production in the pass pro. The run game, though, we were able to get to the second level. We were able to eat up their defensive line, really get on their linebackers. We had just an outstanding day. So, guys, we are going to look at here from the DetroitLions.com. I got pulled up. It's Monday, so you know who I'm going with. Tim 20-Man. That's right. Big fan of Tim 20-Man around here. I've been reading him for a long time. But before we get into it, do me a rock solid favor. Why don't you go ahead and like the video if you're enjoying the content that I'm providing for you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be part of the Hat and Beard Gang. At time of recording, we are at 599 subscribers. I'm trying to hit 600 by Thursday. So if you want to join the Hat and Beard Gang, go ahead and hit subscribe. Ring the notification bell so that you never miss out on any uploads, shorts, long-form content. It'll just send you a push notification. Comment down below what your takeaways and observations of this game were. Are the Lions ascending, descending, staying the same? Tomorrow we'll get into the power rankings. I think you'll see us still sitting pretty at number 1. It is really hard to argue against a team that has allowed, well, we'll get into the defensive production and how our defense is being outshadowed and unjustly by our offense. Our defense is quietly piling together a 3-game just massacre of the AFC South. And then last but not least, if you feel so inclined, share this video around with all your friends. Share it with your wife, your kids, your grandma, your aunt and uncle. You never know. They might like what we do here, and you could be the missing link that propels me into absolute stardom. So, and if you don't want to share it around, just copy. Just hit share and copy it to your clipboard. YouTube doesn't know, and it counts it as a share. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Now let's get into it. Oh, it's Joe DiMaggio's birthday. Interesting. All right, coming to us live from DetroitLions.com. My boy, Tim 20-Man. I appreciate all you do, Tim 20-Man, letting me read all your stuff. This came out today at 7 a.m. 20-Man, Week 12 observations. I love this stuff. Tim 20-Man is the senior writer for DetroitLions.com. Red zone defense. Detroit entered the game number 3 in the NFL in red zone defense, allowing a touchdown just 42.9% of the time this season. They improved that number by holding the Colts to an 0-2 Sunday in a 24-6 win. The Lions do a great job shutting down the run in the red zone, and that's where everything starts for them. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn puts a lot of detail into red zone situations during the week. And it's certainly showing. Yes, it is. I do want to point out, Aaron Glenn has put together 3 of the best, 2.5 of the best defensive schemes we've ever seen out of Detroit. Now, why do I say that? Let's do a little math, guys. We beat the Colts. 24-6. We beat the Jags 52-6. We beat the Texans more than 6 points. But in the Texans game, they didn't score in the second half. Check it out. I got the box score right here. Boom! Houston Texans, no points in the second half. 26-23, no points in the second half. What's this over here? Oh, it's the Jacksonville game where we won 52-6. They kicked 2 field goals in the first half. Then they didn't score in the second half. That's 6 quarters. Let's go over to the Colts game. Oh, would you look at that? 6 points. They kicked 2 field goals in the first half. No points in the second half. The Detroit Lions defense has not allowed a touchdown in 10 straight quarters and have shut teams out in the second half 3 of the last 3 games. That's without Aiden Hutchinson. That's without Alex Anzalone. This last game, that was without Terry and Arnold. Aaron Glenn. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the box score yesterday. No points in the second half. Jacksonville, no points in the second half. Houston, no points in the second half. I talk about the second half adjustments, the halftime adjustments all the time. I've got to get a new mic. This thing is driving me nuts. I talk about how we make the adjustments at halftime, and clearly it's showing, specifically defensively. We have shut our opponents out the last 3 games in the second half, and Detroit Lions have not allowed a touchdown in 10 straight quarters of football, and we got the Bears coming in on Thursday. Can we make it? Comment down below. Can we make it 14 quarters? 14 straight quarters without a touchdown scored on our defense. On Aiden Hutchinson and Alex Anzalone less defense. Can we? Can it be done? Let's get back to the observations. New era. Sunday's win marked the 22nd for the Lions over the last 2 seasons. The most wins in any 2-season span in franchise history. And they will have 6 games remaining in the regular season. Oh, excuse me, protein shake. It's the first time the Lions have won 10 games in back-to-back seasons in franchise history. Oh, does that feel good? Oh, it feels so good. Winning feels so good, you guys. I'm so glad we're all here for it. Not gonna play. Oh, real quick. See, this is what I'm talking about on these draws. We talked about it in the preview game. Let's go ahead and mute this. See if we can get some imagery here. So, if you can see here, see how the guards are pulling? See how the guards pull? Can we rewind? Bullocks. See how the guards pull right here, and then Anthony Richardson. So if you could follow the guards, right, which then ended up biting us in the butt. I'm not going to play all 5 minutes of this replay of the highlights. But a couple of times there, they baited us on the opening drive of just follow the guards. Remember what I said, the guards are going to lead you to the play. They then started to do a little trickery where they have the guards pull away. Colts, they're one of those teams that they have a lot of talent, a lot of dudes that can ball. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. was ascending. He just doesn't have a guy to throw him the ball here. Here we go, the Lions on our ensuing drive. Goff. Oh, I hated this. I hate that. I hate that so much, guys. Right here, where Goff does this backward. See how he's running? That's Anthony Lynn shit, bro. That's Anthony Lynn shit right there. Also, why are Graham Glasgow and Taylor Decker out on one man standing here watching Goff run around, right? Why? Why is Penne the only guy on his man and Frank Ragnow the only guy still engaged with the man? Here you see Kevin Zeitler, who has been really good in the run game, but just not so great in pass pro, at least by comparison. Jonah Jackson was a little bit better last year than Zeitler. Hopefully we see some improvement, maybe some retoolage. We do need to get younger on the offensive line. Obviously, Penei Sewell throws a kink and all that, but our guards, Zeitler's old, Graham Glasgow's getting old, Taylor Decker has lost a quarter of a step this season. I'm not going to say a full step, but he's lost a little bit. And there you see Goff here. I don't want this shadow shit. Boop. Fireball! My guy, Fireball Tim Patrick. Oh, man. Fireball Tim Patrick. Fireball Tim Patrick. Here we go. Gibbs standing back there like a fucking serial killer. Soup. Jahmyr Gibbs, his ability. Like, you know, we all thought he was just going to be some scat back, some receiving back. And obviously it gets talked about a lot about his ability to run in between the tackles. But his agility and speed and small stature allows him to be maximized. Very small openings in the offensive line. You know, give me 6 inches of daylight. That's all I need, right? 6 inches of daylight. Look at him. Faster than you. Whoop. Even on his second touchdown yesterday, you seen him running his mouth. He was talking smack. All right, we're not going to watch this whole thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole highlight reel with you guys. Now, if you want me to, we can do that. Comment down below if you want me to go through every single thing like that. Back to the article here, picking up the slack. Detroit played their first game without linebacker Alex Anzalone in Indy. And they knew going in they need fellow linebackers Jack Campbell and Cowboy Malcolm Rodriguez to help fill the void. Campbell finished with 8 tackles and 2 passes defended. There was one beautiful pass deflection that he had, where if Jack Campbell wasn't 6'6" and didn't have action Jack arms to extend out and slap a ball away, it would have been a huge gainer. But Jack Campbell sold out on the play. Went balls to the walls, tipped it away. Dude's playing out of his mind. What a awesome second-year campaign he's having. All right. It's his 8th straight game with 7 or more tackles. He's everywhere. Action Jack Campbell's everywhere. Rodriguez also notched 8 tackles as the Lions shut an opponent out of the end zone for the 2nd straight contest, or 10th consecutive quarter. No fly zone. Detroit has not allowed multiple touchdown passes in any game this season. Wow, I didn't realize that. Which is a pretty wild statistic when you think about today's NFL. Give GM Brad Holmes a ton of credit for adding key players in the secondary. Like, dude, Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson. Our 3 defensive acquisitions during the free agency period have just been outstanding all season long. Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and then, of course, big DJ Reader in the middle, dude. Reader having a quiet and non-flashy season, but quietly just being an anchor right in the middle for us, dude. It is good. So like, watching DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, it's like what could have been with Big Daddy Dad Wilkerson and Big Baby Shawn Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? If Shawn Rodgers wasn't such a fat pile of shit. Limited sleep. Thanksgiving in Detroit means a short week and a quick turnaround with the Bears coming to town Thursday. Lions quarterback Jared Goff said he'll start watching tape Sunday night on the Bears, and coaches will already have a game plan Monday morning when the players arrive at the Meyer Performance Center. Be a little extra nice to Lions coach if you see them over the next couple days. They're running on a little sleep. Yeah, if you see, if you're down there and you see Dan Campbell kicking around, just go ahead and buy him a coffee, dude. Buy him a coffee. Maybe give Aaron Glenn an attaboy. Tell him he's really just impressed Hat and Beard beyond belief. Because you guys know, early on in his tenure, I was not high on Aaron Glenn. I thought Aaron Glenn was going to get the Anthony Lynn axe. Dan Campbell stuck with him. And now you're seeing the fruits of our labor. Just, what a defense. And defense wins championships. Defense wins championships, and we got an outstanding defense. Perfect start. They almost, Jonathan Vilma almost dicked us so hard. Kenny Albert at least was a professional. He's like, no, I'm not going to say it. Well, Jake Bates is 15 of 15 on field goal tries this year. And now he's 16 of 16. And Vilma tried to goad Kenny Albert into saying it, and he didn't. Oh, pardon me. Protein shake, dude. Kicker Jake Big Leg Bates, the ballad of Jake Bates continues, has now made each of his first 16 field goal attempts in his career, which ties for the 5th longest streak to begin a career in the NFL. You need an L there, copywriter. He has now made 2 field goals of 56 or more yards, which is already tied with Jason Hanson for the... Wow, really? Oh, like in the same game? Yeah, 56 yards or more. Charged by Jason Hanson from the second most in Lions history. Who's ahead of him? Prater? All right, let's watch this boomer.
He's
Ballad of
15
Jake
15.
Bates.
Hasn't missed all season. Come on, Kenny.
Boom!
56.
Just off center. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Running identity. Detroit rushed for 137 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Colts. I actually had Monty going for 2 and Gibbs going for 1. My parlay got shit on. Shit on. Making the 11th time this season they rushed for at least 100 yards and a touchdown. Detroit rushed for a touchdown in 22 straight games dating back to last season, the 3rd longest streak in NFL history. And Monty has like 24 rushing touchdowns in 25 games with the Lions, something insane like that. Such an upgrade when you see how Jay Willie has just fizzled out. And I was a big Jay Willie fan. I thought he was a character. I liked having him around. But, boy, Jay Willie really fell off when you compare to what the Lions have been able to do with David Montgomery and Mir. Gibbs. NFC North, Minnesota survived Chicago in overtime. Packers beat on unmanned. Yeah, that Packers game, I can't believe they actually let that be the Fox game of the week. That was rough to watch. That was, and I am the farthest thing from a Packers fan. I don't necessarily hate the San Francisco 49ers. Low-key used to be kind of a fan of them when I was a kid, big Steve Young guy. That was just rough to watch. But to be fair, look, man, I'm a Lions fan, so I totally understand the whole, like, giving the other team some comeuppance or whatever. And you know what? We've been doing it to teams all season long. So considering the Niners have just absolutely had Green Bay's number the past couple years, especially in the playoffs, it's good to see Green Bay get a little bit of revenge on them, right? Maybe that gets it out of their system so that they don't feel the need to take it out on us, which is never going to happen because we're just going to continue to beat the brakes off the NFC North. That keeps things pretty tight atop the NFC North. The Detroit 10-1, Minnesota 9-2. Damn, that is actually, look at those numbers. We are the best division in football. Lions 10-1, Minnesota 9-2, Green Bay 8-3. It's pretty impressive, especially considering Green Bay had a couple games there where Love wasn't available. Sure, one was against Tennessee. All within striking distance for the division title. It should be a great 6-game finish over the next month and a half of football. It should be. It's going to be exciting. That's going to be it for this article, guys. Actually, I think that's going to be about it for the video. But, you know, if you look at it, the NFC North, whoever the schedule makers were, I don't think there's a week the rest of the season where there isn't an NFC North matchup. And that's pretty awesome. That means that the best division of football is going to be right down to the wire in a tightly contested for second place because we're just going to win out. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how even when we play bad, we play good. How do the Lions lose moving forward? Don't want to think about it. Don't want to care about it. Anyway, it was good that we got a victory. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share this around with all your friends. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have power rankings out. Wednesday, we'll probably do a little bit of a preview. It's going to be a bit of a condensed week. Okay, it's going to be a condensed week. But comment down below if you made it this long. Comment down below. Do you want to have... Would you be interested in a little live stream Thursday morning, you know, like 11:30 to 12 or something like that? Obviously, I can't do it right up until the end of the or right up until kickoff. I would like to help Hat and Boobs here because we're having my folks over for Thanksgiving dinner, and she puts on a massive spread. Just really goes balls to the wall, and someone's got to help entertain the dogs while she's doing that. So. Yeah, all right, that's going to be it for me. Thanks for sticking around. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Bonga, bonga. Hey, frig off.